From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Your weekend weather update is made possible by Caltrans District 2.
Hey, good morning, folks, and what do you know? Our old friend Jack Frost is back here in the North State. Of course, we have these widespread winter weather advisories for elevations above 2,500 feet, for elevations above 3,500 feet out towards the eastern mountains, and a winter storm warning out there for Plumas County, starting in Bernie, in fact, going all the way down through Plumas County, of course, and into portions of Butte County. That's going to be going through tomorrow morning. That's going to be through 8 a.m. So we're definitely seeing those conditions start to deteriorate across the area. And it really is no surprise that this has kind of been issued, right? We're definitely seeing the trends a little less favorable. Some of those higher mountain passes are probably going to be pretty treacherous here over the next 24 hours. Here's a big system. You can really see just the amazing shape of this thing from 22,000 miles up in geostationary orbit. You have this system swinging in over the last 24 hours here, and that's actually going to be the same system that pushes off to the east over the next few days and actually causes some severe weather chances out towards the plains. So you really got to consider and count your blessings that we're not getting that, right? But of course, we're still seeing a very impactful system in the terms of kind of what this system is bringing. It's kind of typical to what you would see maybe a month or two ago. I mean, it really is a relatively cold system for this time of year. And of course, we're going to be seeing heavy rain at times. That's with that widespread batch of stuff that you're seeing right now. If you look out the window here as of 6 o'clock this morning, you'll be seeing a lot of that. And of course, above about 3,000 to 3,500 feet, you're probably going to be seeing a mix to snow. And of course, snow levels will be dropping. That's going to be over the next 16 to 24 hours. And I think they'll probably bottom out somewhere around 2,500 feet. So we're going to be talking those chain requirements, those mountain highways. Mike will be with you here in an hour, by the way, for a live update. Coffee with Kruger. Be sure to tune into that. He'll have more details there. And of course, we have some potentials for thunderstorms, heavy rain, lightning, and some hail even mixing down with that is possible there. And also consider the fact that with those winds, you might actually have some kind of blowing, gusty snow potential there mixed in as well. So definitely a multifaceted threat here as we head through today and into the early hours of tomorrow. And I really think past tomorrow, over the next 24 to 36 hours, it lets up just a little bit, but you can really see just how much of widespread rain and, of course, snow above 3,000 to 3,500 feet we're talking about. Out here towards Plumas County in the eastern mountains, notice the 70 corridor going out towards Quincy. You might have a little bit of a mix, kind of mixing down there here over the next 6 hours or so, but I don't think you're going to see much in the way of snow then. I think that really starts to creep in here as you head over the next 12 hours through the later half of today. We're talking past midday here when those snow levels continue to drop and a lot of that rain starts to become snow as we continue to see that stuff push east here. And it really becomes a little less widespread, so there's kind of an interesting lack of an overlap. So the snow levels will be dropping, but it also becomes a little less widespread. So I think we're spared the worst of it, but we're still seeing some pretty major impacts, especially out east there, with that snow levels getting down to about 2,500, maybe even lower at times across the area. As we head through tomorrow morning, I don't think we're done yet. I think the widespread stuff, that widespread mucky heavy rain, is for the most part out of here, but you still might even see some showers and maybe even hear a rumble of thunder or two pop up north of Reading, north portions of Valley, out into southern Siskiyou County as well. So, like I said, I think this is going to last into tomorrow in terms of the multifaceted impact of it, right? So rainfall totals here as a whole, we're probably going to be talking 3 inches up here by Del Norte County, northern Humboldt County. That's going to be our maximum, but in terms of the widespread stuff, well, the picture paints the story pretty nicely. We're talking about 1 inch, maybe 2 inches in portions north of the valley here, northeast of Reading, in between Reading and Bernie, in fact. And of course, out towards the eastern mountains, Chico, out through Quincy there as well. You can kind of see those 1 to 2 inch totals popping up there. I think snow is not going to be, it's going to be kind of in and out relatively quickly, but we're still probably going to see some pretty decent accumulations in those upper levels here, above 2,500 to 3,500 feet over the next 24 hours. So yeah, like I said, May doesn't really feel like it. This is something you'd see 1 or 2 months ago. So big picture, I think things start to improve, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. As that stuff kind of gets out of here over the next 36 to 48 hours, well, we start to dry out. We start to warm back up. Of course, yesterday we were seeing 80s. No such luck today, but I think we're going to be back in the 70s and 80s here relatively quickly. Let me show you why. So there's that system impacting us now. Watch this. Big time high pressure here forming off to the west. This here huge ridge, that's going to be pushing east with time. Watch this. Inching east, taking itself, putting it down right over the North State. And look just how big that warm air is, extending all the way well up into Canada. And boom, there we are right there in the middle here. And this is through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and so on and so forth. You kind of get the picture. A nice warming trend is in store here as we head past this over the next several days. Here's how the waves have evolved over the last several hours and how they'll continue to evolve through this evening. Actually relatively calm. We're going to be staying in the single-digit range, I'd say 5 to 7 feet, all the way 30, 40 nautical miles off the coast, but the conditions purely in terms of the weather, not going to be so good. Okay, I've been talking about big picture. Let's go county by county, city by city, see what we have in store for the next 7. You can really see a couple of things. First of all, you can see that decreasing snow level. Second of all, you can see those increasing temperatures and increasing just conditions as a whole as you head through the rest of the week. Notice those 70s and 80s returning here, but of course today, yeah, we're not going to be seeing any of those. Upper 40s, lower 50s is the story. Winds pretty brisk out of the west at about 15 miles an hour. Coast, similar story, right? We're going to be talking temperatures from Del Norte all the way down to Humboldt County there in the 50s out here. Few thunderstorms, yeah, possible out there. And of course, up here in northern portions of Humboldt and through Del Norte County, you're probably going to see about 2-3 inches of rain when all is said and done with it here. But notice this, head a little further inland, you get those 60s, 70s, and 80s returning as you head towards the end of the week. So if you're tired of the rain, just wait a few days, you'll be happy. Now towards Siskiyou County, of course, we've got that wind out of the north, 10 to 15 miles an hour. Widespread upper 40s, lower 50s is the story. Of course, as you increase in elevation above 25 to 3,000 feet, that's when you start talking snow. Again, I think we're probably going to bottom out somewhere in the 2,500 to 3,500 foot range here as we head through tomorrow morning especially. But notice those 60s, 70s returning as you head towards the end of the week out here as well. Pretty much clear skies past Monday. I think that's really kind of how we're shaping up with this really interesting variable forecast. If you're kind of susceptible to those weather headaches, you're definitely going to be feeling them over the next several days. Out towards Modoc County, upper 40s, right near 50s, kind of the story. We're going to be back in the 60s and 70s though here pretty quickly. Snow levels 2,500 to 3,000 feet through tonight and into tomorrow morning. Down here in the East Mountains out towards Plumas County, that's where the highest impacts are probably going to be in some of these upper level mountain passes where you got those chain requirements coming in, and of course that winter storm warning through tomorrow morning. Snow levels 2,500 to 3,000 feet is going to be the story there. 60s creeping back in, near 70 by the end of the week, so don't take these upper 40s and lower 50s for granted, or rather, you know, if you're a cold lover, yeah, right, that's kind of the best way to put it, because we'll be back to warmth and clear skies pretty quickly. Now, of course, through the valley, that's where you really see this trend in action. Today, upper 50s, lower 60s, but check out those mid-upper 80s returning. Just absolute roller coaster here from yesterday compared to today, compared to next week. We're really getting into this active pattern here as we head over the next several days. And of course, through the valley, especially up here up in the northern portion of the valley, about an inch, maybe inch and a half of rain. Looking pretty likely here with some thunderstorms possibly mixed in the batch as we head over the next 24 hours. And check out those 70s and 80s returning, man. I really think if you're tired of this rain, that's the time frame to hold out for. But of course, I think a decent little rain, never hurt anybody here across the North State. Thanks for joining me for this forecast update. Of course, I'll be back with you this afternoon for more fresh from the Weather NorCal Command Center, and I'll speak to you then.